One of Star Trek, Picard Season 1's most heartwarming moments was improvised on set by Jonathan Del Arco and Patrick Stewart. Picard Season 1 is set about 20 years after Star Trek, Nemesis, the final Star Trek, The Next Generation movie. At the dawn of the 25th century, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard's, Patrick Stewart, life as captain of the Starship Enterprise is long behind him. Patrick Stewart initially did not want Star Trek, Picard to be a retread of Star Trek, The Next Generation, which is why there were only a few faces from TNG in Picard Season 1, but Hugh, Jonathan Del Arco, was one of them. Star Trek, Picard Season 1 revealed that Hugh was the director of the Borg reclamation project on the Artifact, a derelict Borg cube controlled by the Romulans. Hugh was an XB himself, and Star Trek, The Next Generation Season 1's Borg. Hugh was a Borg drone separated from the collective who regained his individuality thanks to the crew of the USS Enterprise D. Hugh and Admiral Picard's paths crossed again in Star Trek. Picard when Jean-Luc traveled to the Artifact to rescue Dr. Soji Asha, Isa Briones, a synthetic targeted by Romulan Zat-Vash agents. Jonathan Del Arco improvised Hugh hugging Jean-Luc in Star Trek, Picard Season 1. One of Picard Season 1's best moments. In an interview with Trek Movie, Jonathan Del Arco revealed he improvised Hugh's hug with Admiral Picard, which was not in the script. The heartwarming moment came in Star Trek, Picard Season 1, Episode 6, The Impossible Box, soon after Jean-Luc Picard set foot on the Artifact. Facing his trauma from his own assimilation into Locatus of Borg, Picard was relieved to find Hugh's friendly face greeting him on the Artifact. Read Del Arco's quote below. Jonathan Del Arco's instincts were 100% correct, as it was a beat that Star Trek, The Next Generation fans wanted. Star Trek, Picard Season 1 takes place in 2399, 30 years since Captain Picard and Hugh last saw each other in Star Trek, The Next Generation Season 7's Descent, Part 2. Del Arco was right that Hugh would want to warmly embrace the captain who helped give him back his individuality. And Picard also needed the reassurance that coming to the Artifact would not be an entirely hostile experience. Hugh and Jean-Luc hugging is one of Star Trek, Picard Season 1 standout moments. Star Trek, Picard TNG callbacks set up Season 3's success. Picard realized what fans wanted was the TNG cast. Star Trek, Picard Season 1 opened with Brent Spiner reprising his role as the late Lieutenant Commander Data, and Hugh was the second familiar face from Star Trek, The Next Generation to appear. Star Trek, Picard Season 1, Episode 7, Nepenthe, is arguably the best-received episode of the season as it brought back Jonathan Frakes as Captain Will Riker and Marina Sirtis as Counselor Deanna Troi. It was starting to become clear that what Star Trek fans wanted from Picard was the return of the cast of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Star Trek, Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas understood and shared fans' desire to see the whole crew of the USS Enterprise D back together, and he delivered. Star Trek, Picard Season 3 was the Star Trek, The Next Generation reunion fans wanted all along, and the result was one of the best acclaimed and warmly received seasons of Star Trek since the franchise returned to TV on Paramount+. Unfortunately, Hugh was killed off in Star Trek, Picard Season 1 and couldn't be part of Picard Season 3's TNG comeback, but Jonathan Del Arco's improv smartly showed the way toward what fans wanted and what was to come. In the vastness of the Star Trek universe, few moments are as cherished as those that reveal the humanity of its beloved characters. As the episode was being filmed, the director was attempting to capture an emotional reunion between Captain Jean-Luc Picard and his old friend, Warf, the fierce but noble Klingon warrior. Though the script outlined their lines, it couldn't quite capture the intensity of emotions that these two characters would feel after years of separation, especially considering the profound experiences each had endured since they last saw each other. During rehearsals, Patrick Stewart, Picard, and Michael Dorn, Warf, found themselves reminiscing about their days on The Next Generation. They joked about Worf's unyielding strength and Picard's calm, analytical approach. For the two actors, these characters had become extensions of themselves over the years. Stewart and Dorn shared a mutual respect, one that had grown over decades of portraying two very different yet strangely complementary figures. As they were chatting between takes, the director sensed there was more to this relationship than what was scripted and encouraged them to explore that bond further. As the cameras rolled, Stewart and Dorn began their scene. Initially, they stuck to the lines, Picard expressing his gratitude for Worf's arrival and Worf acknowledging his respect for his old captain. But then, in a moment that wasn't in the script, Stewart took a step forward and wrapped Dorn in a warm embrace. Worf, known for his stoic demeanor, was taken aback, both the character and the actor. Dorn hesitated, unsure of how Worf would respond to such an uncharacteristic gesture. Klingon were not known for expressing affection, especially not in such a tender way. Yet, something about the moment felt right. With a deep breath, Dorn let Worf's tough exterior crack just a little. He placed a hand on Picard's shoulder, a silent but powerful gesture that spoke volumes. The crew held their breath, watching this unexpected exchange unfold. The embrace lasted only a few seconds, but it felt as though time had stopped. In that moment, two warriors, each scarred by battles and losses, acknowledged the weight they carried and the unspoken bond that tied them together. When the director called cut, there wasn't a dry eye on set. Stewart and Dorn shared a quiet smile, understanding that they had just created something unforgettable. The director knew instantly that this improvised embrace had to be included in the final cut. It was real, raw, and exactly what fans needed to see, a reminder that even in a universe filled with alien worlds and cosmic conflicts, what mattered most were the connections forged along the way. The episode aired, and the response from fans was overwhelming. Social media lit up with messages from viewers who were touched by the scene. Many longtime fans of the franchise were reminded of their own friendships, the ones that had endured despite years and distance. One fan shared, "Seeing Picard and Worf embrace felt like a tribute to all of us who grew up watching these characters. It was like reconnecting with old friends." In interviews following the episode, both Stewart and Dorn reflected on the moment. Stewart explained, "There are times when you realize that a script can only take you so far. As actors, we bring ourselves into these roles, and sometimes the character needs to express something unscripted. That's what happened with the hug. Picard, like myself, wanted to show Worf just how much he mattered." Dorn, on the other hand, admitted he had initially been reluctant to break Worf's Klingon stoicism. "Worf isn't the type to embrace, especially not a human. But Patrick reminded me that even Klingon need their walls to come down sometimes." It was a moment of vulnerability that made Worf feel more